Yeah, they're 0-3, but they still have time to turn around. Mason Rudolph played his first start. I mean, Gardner Minshew went 0-1. Then came out and showed out in his game, too.
Before you
So it
get
wouldn't
too far
surprise me.
into this, Dave, I just want to say this to Dillon. You can go ahead and banter back and forth with Dave on this one until he gets to the end here because I really don't feel like participating in these right now. Okay, Dillon? So go ahead with Dave here because there's a reason why this is just go. You guys go for this.
I'm ready.
So am I redoing the power rankings?
Nope. Let's go from here.
Okay. All right. Well, moving up the board, I think they're over. I think they're too high up. Number 23rd overall, Tennessee Titans. I think they need a little bit lower after the shellacking Saxonville gave, what was it, 10 sacks in one night that they got up on Mariota?
I think it was 9, and I would definitely have the Titans below the Steelers. I'll say that.
Yeah, I was shocked by that. Like, how do you have the Titans? Above the Bucks. And the Bucks at least have been competitive. Yeah, but the Bucks have one win too. The only reason they lost that game against the Giants was Daniel Jones' comeback was incredible, folks. Don't get me wrong, but still, the kicker missed one of the shortest kicks.
Oh my God, the kicker!
Matt Gay. How dare you ruin famous Jameis Crab Legs? How dare you?
Dude, it made
God,
me give up. Jake, in a particular league, it might have been our league, maybe not, but anyways, I had Jake Elliott on my team. I thought, okay, here come the Buccaneers to score all over the Giants. Let me get in on that with some Matt Gay. I was undecided about it. I was watching college football. Can't remember what the college team was, but it was Matt Gay's old team. So they're talking about him on air. They're like,
was it Utah? I think it was Utah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So I was watching that game. The kicker comes on, and they're like, this guy is replacing Matt Gay, the most perfect kicker we've ever had. And I'm like, all right, I'm picking this guy up. Wouldn't you know it? A missed extra point, a blocked extra point later.
Yeah. No, you're good. You're not the only person I've heard that from. I have a couple other close friends that picked him up, and I have heard that name way too much in my group chats and Twitter more than I need to.
It has to be a rule of thumb now. Avoid all Tampa Bay and Chicago kickers, period.
And you know what? I'm glad to see that Giants, they got one win, but I think a lot of the people in the NFL are seeing that Daniel Jones' spark of energy that he's given them, and he did it without Saquon Barkley. I mean, the Giants, they're probably not going to be a playoff team, but they're going to be a team that at least will give you a fight. And it's good to see the Giants not just roll over. They are at 22.
Above the Steelers.
The Giants, with Daniel Jones, yes. With Eli Giants, yes, I'd be upset about it. But Daniel Jones Giants, no. I'm good with that. Plus, they're getting Golden Tate back here, I think, not this week, but next week. This, to me, was shocking. Atlanta was 21. I think they should have been lower. I think Atlanta, man, they play a tough game next week, I believe, at, let's see, I think it was at New Orleans they play. And
well, as long as they have the firepower, they're going to be ranked, at least middle of the pack.
Yeah, but that's the thing. They've had all this firepower, and they went to Indy, and they were down 21-3 at the half.
They rallied.
Rallied enough to lose.
Typical.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. The Falcons face the Titans, and it's at home. So I expect a sacrificial lamb of Tennessee up to the gods to keep Dan Quinn's job a little cooled off.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they're at home, they're good to go.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I'm still... All right, let me get back to the power rankings.
To write a blank check to Goodell, figure out how to get all home games for the Falcons.
Arthur Blank, unless he doesn't pump that fake crowd noise back in the stadium.
He's going to twist his Wario mustache and get it done.
So, also, the Browns have looked pretty atrocious, too. They're 1-2, and they're ranked 18. Kind of surprised by that. Think that's a little higher now.
Yeah, that's definitely high. That's based on names, for sure. I mean, Mayfield's been terrible. OBJ has actually been good, considering what the overall offense has been. But they could
He's
not
been the only good piece, yeah. Oh, God, no.
Yeah.
And all that money they spent last free agency, not this one, but the one before it, I'm surprised at how bad they are playing on the offensive line.
I mean, I do wonder, because lost in the OBJ trade was their Kevin Zeitler. So, I don't know, like, if obviously he was a necessary piece, but, I mean, man, it seems to be having a big impact because...
There's a part of me that never analyzed this that slapped myself in the forehead when they brought that up, and I've just always seemed to forget that piece. Here's the problem. This is like rule number 2 of team building. You never take a wall of your foundation out to go buy a Ferrari, okay? Because guess what? When you go to drive a Ferrari, you come home, your house caved in, and you ain't got nowhere to park goddamn Ferrari. It makes no damn sense. So that whole idea that they would do that was an asinine move, and like rule number 2 of the rules of building a team. You just don't do things like that. You could have kept that guard and worked something else out. He's too good. Why do you think the Giants wanted him so bad in that trade? I mean,
that's true, but wouldn't you say guard is one of the more replaceable positions in the NFL?
No. This is not 15 years ago. If you listen to analysts right now, because of the way college is, even though we're getting more of the spread offenses in, you still, as an offensive lineman, have to be able to block north and south. This vertical blocking, even with this stretch shit, just doesn't happen. At the end of the day, you still got to beat these guys north and south. Otherwise, that's why guys like Aaron Donald dominate, because there isn't enough good offensive linemen across the board, let alone at one given position, so guys can just little swim moves. Like, I was watching the games the last couple of weeks, quite honestly, and you know what I noticed across the entire defensive around the league? There is a complete lack of actual pass rush moves. Like, you turn on film of guys like Reggie White, you don't see guys, there's very few guys that have a hump move. It's a lot of spin move and slapping your hands away and just speed rushing and just pure bull rushing. There isn't a lot of actual... It's because, really, if all you have to do is the guard or lineman goes to put his hands on you, and the first time you slap his arms away, both his arms go and his whole body turns, and you can just speed by him, why the hell ever... Well, you don't need to develop anything else. Like, so no, like, you just... Nowadays, no, they're not that replaceable. Like, how many linemen have the Packers freaking drafted, for God's sakes, in the high rounds that aren't even in the damn league, can't play? Like, it's not that easy, buddy. Like, I'm sorry.
Eric Sherrod.
Yeah. And that's just from our perspective. All you fan bases out there, you can relate to this. All of you. If you stop and think about all your team, and 4th round or higher of all the offensive linemen, just since you've been a fan that you can remember, that are high picks, that you never panned out. Like, just in the last, let's say, 10 years. It's crazy, man. And so now more than ever, you do not want to give up proven Pro Bowl, almost all-pro offensive linemen. Those are really hard to find. Like, good ones are hard enough to find. Hell, even Andy Herman made this point to me about Lane Taylor, and I had to tip my hat and say touche. He was like, dude, I think you're, like, underestimating the value of an average to above-average offensive lineman in this league. And that's kind of what got me on this thought train and back to that and hearing that. Like, he's absolutely right. And when you look at it, yeah, it is. That's why the pass rush moves aren't necessary, because just across the board, these guys aren't that good. And the ones that are really good are because they're so damn good at the technicians. That's why they stand out. Guys like Bakhtiari and that, Balaga, that's why they're so valuable, even if a guy like Balaga's injured. Because he's beyond that. He's a technician. You have to be very good. You need Khalil Max to beat those guys. Those other guys get stonewalled, consistently and get nowhere. Look at Von Miller, who doesn't have a lot of pass rush moves, stonewalled. Chubb's our second-year player, stonewalled, right? Okay. Mac.
Are you okay? That's second rant in 10 minutes.
I don't. A lot of this stuff I'm definitely I'll agree to disagree with, but I think you made some great points for sure. But yeah, I mean it certainly helps to have a solid 5-piece wall up there. Me particularly, if I'm drafting a team, both guards would be the last position because I would have my top 2 positions on the line be tackle. And then a nice solid center like we have in Jason Kelce.
Modern era football. The best overall draft pick in the 2018 pick was a all-pro rookie offensive guard. Sixth overall pick.
Nelson is obviously making a huge difference for the Colts, so you can't argue with that. But I just, the general talk of the NFL is you hear it a lot, especially around draft time.
Elton Jenkins, the 44th overall pick of the Green Bay Packers, comes in and instantly makes an impact. Guard.
True, but hear me out real quick.
Stop. I can keep doing this all day, man. I can keep doing this all day. Every time you talk, I'll just keep doing it, man.
Around draft time, when there is an unathletic offensive tackle, they say, well, he can always kick in to guard. So I'm just saying, it's like plan B when it comes to offensive line.
And guess what happens to that unathletic tackle? He gets matched. He does okay. Then he meets a guy like Aaron Donald, gets blowed up, and pretty soon he's selling.
I.e. Jason Spriggs.
Yeah, he's selling used tackles. And Jason Spriggs he's still considered athletic as hell. You just can't play, man. I'm telling you, Dillon. This ain't the 15 years ago, you could plug and play. Like, you had Wisconsin offensive linemen were all over the league. There's very few of them that, are very prevalent now because they're not as great of pass blockers as you want. They're really good run blockers, but they have a hard time pass blocking, and they don't last. Joe Thomas is one of the few. Mark Tauscher. There's just a couple,
it's clearly affecting the Browns because they've not been able to execute what they want to do, and Baker's been on the turf a lot. But also, I understand the trade. I mean, OBJ can and has already taken a slant to the house. So, yes, I'll take him over the best guard in the NFL any day, but they got to figure it out.
And by the way, Dave, I'm perfectly fine, but you know what? I've had a lot of football on my mind, and I have, I've been thinking football for so much. Yeah, I'm almost having a football diarrhea moments at times right now. I'm sorry.
I almost forgot we were doing power rankings. Hey guys, at number 17, the Detroit Lions. Yes, they have a 2-0-1 team ranked 17th. They have the team they beat last week at the Chargers over them at 16, which I kind of find odd, but I think they're seeing the same things we are. The Chargers lost a game with a really banged-up team. Left tackle out, tight end out, both safeties out. Mike Williams is playing with a hurt hip flexor or a pointer. I mean, you look at all the field. I mean, good God, the Chargers. When you watch the old war movies of the Civil War and you see the other unit walking back, and it's half skeletons and bones are showing and guts are hanging out. Yeah, that was the Chargers last week against the Detroit Lions. Yeah, dear God, my God. But yeah, I see the Lions at 17. I agree with it, but then I don't. The reason why I agree with it, it's because Detroit faced some really banged-up teams. Philly this week, Chargers last week, and then tied with the Arizona Cardinals. Now, next week... No, I got that, but this is how I look at it. The Lions didn't win the game. Philly lost the game. It's what we talked about the other night. I just don't have faith, especially in Detroit, in the next two games, because they play Kansas City and then they play Green Bay. Yeah, I think they dropped their two first consecutive losses. That one is in Green Bay, and then Chiefs come to Ford Field, but I don't care where the Chiefs play. The Chiefs are the Chiefs.